I'm going to tell you, Christine, without me, life has no meaning.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 audio recordings with disturbing background stories.
What's the problem?
Police! Send the police!
What's the problem there?
Алло, полицейская? Да. Вы, значит, выезжаете на атомную станцию, там горит крыша третьего, четвертого блока.
For this list, we're looking at eerie pieces of audio that have horrific backstories. Which of these do you find the creepiest? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10. Timothy Treadwell's lost audio. Fortunately for us, the audio of Timothy Treadwell's demise has never been released.
Animals rule. Timothy conquered.
But by all accounts, it's absolutely horrible, and using our imaginations is more than effective. Treadwell was an environmentalist with an aim to protect bears and their natural sanctuaries.
I've now proven myself as being able to hold my ground and therefore earning their respect. This is Rowdy the bear, and he's rowdy.
Ironically, he died at the mercy of the very animal he swore to protect. On October 5, 2003, Treadwell and his girlfriend were mauled by a brown bear while camping in Alaska's Katmai National Park.
Behind me is the Grizzly Sanctuary, and also hidden down below is my camp, for I must now remain hidden from the authorities, from people who would harm me.
His video camera captured audio of the attack, which included screams and Treadwell pleading to his girlfriend for help.
I hear rain and I hear, Amy, get away, go away.
The tape is reportedly stored in a vault, but it was heard by Werner Herzog for the documentary Grizzly Man. He was left visibly shaken.
Truly, you must never listen to this.
I know, Werner. I'm never going to.
And you must never look at the photos that I've seen at the coroner's office.
Number 9. Hurricane Ike. This one is technically a video, so we are cheating a little bit. That said, most of the horror can be found in the audio rather than the visuals, and the audio is quite harrowing indeed. Hurricane Ike struck America in September of 2008, causing 214 deaths and $38 billion in damages, while reaching winds of 145 miles per hour. This video was taken by a Weather.com producer who was inside Galveston's darkened San Luis Resort Hotel. The passing hurricane sounds like the soundtrack to a horror movie, complete with ghostly high-pitched squeals that eerily set the tone for a night of hellish disaster. Number 8. The Travis 911 Call. Back in February of 2009, a 200-pound chimpanzee named Travis pounced on 55-year-old Charla Nash. Travis's owner, Sandra Harold, called 911 in a panic, knowing that her friend's life was in obvious danger. The audio is greatly disturbing, as Harold is clearly flustered, and an enraged Travis can be heard screeching in the background.
What's the
Send
problem?
the police! Send the police!
What's the problem there?
The police soon arrived, dealt with Travis, and saw to the gravely injured Nash.
Who's killing your friend?
My chimpanzee!
Oh, your chimpanzee is killing your friend.
He ripped her apart, hurry up!
Her injuries were significant, but hospital staff was able to save her life.
I don't remember anything, and they told the doctor that I don't want to remember because I could imagine what it was like.
She later received a face transplant and sued her friend's estate for $4 million. Number 7. Down the Hill. It's amazing how disturbing 3 simple words can be. In February of 2017, teenagers Abigail Williams and Liberty German were murdered by a still unidentified male in Delphi, Indiana. The girls had gone for a hike and never returned to meet German's father at the agreed-upon time, prompting a search and rescue. Their bodies were found the next day. Police recovered German's smartphone and found something both interesting and helpful. German had photographed the man who supposedly murdered the young girls, as she did not feel safe with his approach.
She realized maybe something's wrong and then she snapped this blurry video.
Audio from the phone was also released, which depicted a muffled male voice saying "down the hill," presumably an instruction given to the two girls. Unfortunately, the case remains unsolved.
We are begging you to come up and to come forward.
Number 6, the Joseph James DeAngelo tape. Nicknamed the Golden State Killer, Joseph DeAngelo's spree lasted from 1973 to 1986, and he successfully eluded police capture. He was also known to make obscene phone calls to his victims, like in Black Christmas. The FBI released one of these recorded calls in 2018, which depicted DeAngelo breathing heavily into the phone and using crude and terrifying language against his victim. This is not the type of call you'd want to receive in the middle of the night. It wasn't until 2018 that DeAngelo was arrested and charged, and he was sentenced to life in prison in August 2020 when he was nearly 75 years old. Number 5, the Chernobyl phone call.
We need water moving through the cord, that is all that matters.
There is no core. It exploded.
Anyone who's watched HBO's Chernobyl has heard the nightmare-inducing phone call that was placed shortly after the famous explosion. It starts with a very haunting beeping sound before panicked voices begin speaking to each other. The audio is obviously not in English, but the fear and anxiety in the voices are palpable. The call reportedly consists of an emergency service worker inquiring about the explosion before phoning the dispatchers and ordering them to respond. Many of these firefighters would die horrible deaths owing to the fatal amounts of radiation at the scene. It's impossible to tell how many people died in the tragedy, but it remains the world's worst nuclear disaster. Number 4, Operation Wandering Soul. By all accounts, the Vietnam War was a never-ending nightmare for both sides.
Sing it loud. This is a Romeo Foxtrot. Shall we dance?
The Viet Cong were subjected to psychological warfare by the United States Army, who broadcast the so-called Operation Wandering Soul from helicopters and bases. This recording is full of creepy sounds, including echoey reverb effects and ghostly vocals that were intended to represent the damned souls of the dead. The tape preyed on Vietnamese ritual, as it said that the unburied dead wander the earth in pain and frustration, hence Operation Wandering Soul. Just imagine hearing this in the pitch-black jungle late at night. Number 3, the last transmission of Vladimir Komarov. Venturing to space requires an incredible amount of bravery, and it's exactly because of disasters like this. Soviet cosmonaut Vladimir Komarov became the first person to die in space when his Soyuz 1 capsule failed to deploy its parachute during re-entry. Audio footage of his final transmission has been released, and it depicts an agitated Komarov yelling over a din of loud background noise with the full awareness of his impending death. A lot has been debated regarding this audio, including the translation and even the authenticity of the audio itself. But if it is real, then this is truly one of the most disturbing things found on the internet. Number 2, the exorcism of Anneliese Michel. In the late 1960s, a German teenager named Anneliese Michel began experiencing seizures and depression. Michel grew worse as time wore on, and she began hearing voices. By the mid-70s, Michelle's condition had not improved, and her parents turned to the Catholic Church for relief. Michelle was deemed possessed and subjected to nearly 70 exorcisms. Audio Of these exorcisms was recorded and eventually played in court, depicting a gravelly voiced Michelle making horrible noises and screaming with a ghastly howl. Unfortunately, Michelle passed away at 23 from malnutrition, as she had not been eating throughout the ordeal. Both Michelle's parents and the priests faced trial and were found guilty of manslaughter for their roles in her death. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. The Jonestown Death Tape.
Father loves all of us.
Perhaps the most disturbing bit of audio found on the internet is the Jonestown Death Tape.
We're all ready to go. If you tell us we have to give our lives now, we're ready. I'm pretty sure all the rest of the sisters and brothers are with me.
Back in 1978, Jonestown, Guyana was home to a cult known as the People's Temple.
These lovely people are all happy. None of them want to return. They're delighted with this lovely life.
The cult was led by Jim Jones, and on November 18, 1978, 909 people died at Jonestown from cyanide poisoning.
No other way I would rather go than give my life for socialism, communism, and I thank that very, very much.
The event is now attributed entirely to Jones, and his victims are deemed just that. Running nearly 45 minutes in length, the tape depicts the terrifying event in full.
It's just too late. It's too late. The Congressman's dead. The Congress today's dead. Many of our traitors are dead. They're all laying out there dead.
Listening to this is certainly not for the faint of heart, as it's a disturbing historical document that depicts one of the greatest tragedies in modern American history. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.